Hello, my name is Simon and welcome to the Retro News Roundup. To start this episode, there was news that Nintendo are not going to bring the Virtual Console to the Switch. Instead, its older titles will become available on its much anticipated online service for the console, which still hasn't launched despite the Switch being out for over a year now. It's confirmed that 20 NES titles will be downloadable when it comes out in September though. In any case, you could say Nintendo is taking a while to switch up its approach to retro gaming. Next, Capcom celebrated Mega Man's 30th birthday by releasing limited edition reproduction carts of the first and 10th games in the series. So, number 1 for the NES and X for the SNES. Pre-orders are now open, but these carts will cost you a pretty penny. Actually, 10,000 pennies to be precise. Finally, there was a Kickstarter launch last month for Mega Drive title Tanza. It's made its funding goal, hooray! But you can still pre-order a cartridge for roughly $35 plus shipping when it launches in February next year. The Switch got so much retro last month, it's made my head spin a bit. It's a good thing. It got a couple of Johnny's Turbo arcade titles for one, namely Sly Spy and Caveman Ninja, i.e. Joe and Mac. Then there were 5 Arcade Archive Neo Geo games, Stakes Winner, Baseball Stars Professional, Super Sidekicks 2, Top Players Golf, and Ninja Combat. Then it also received 3 standard Arcade Archive entries, 10 Yard Fight, Terra Cresta, and Icky. If that wasn't enough, there was also Legend of K Anniversary, a port of classic shooter Ikaruga, and finally Mega Man Legacy Collections 1 and 2, which between them cover the Blue Bombers' first 10 titles. As for the PS4, Jakido Kintaro's Revenge and Metal Slug XX arrived on PSN. Sega Mega Drive Classics was also released. It contains 50 titles from the 16-bit console and is also available on Xbox One and Windows. Another title being brought to multiple platforms last month was Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition, which contains 12 titles from the series and is now available on PS4, Switch, Xbox One and Windows. Moving on, 8-bit computer favourite Bounder has been ported onto Android and iOS devices. But more bizarrely, Judge Dredd 95 was released on Steam. It's a port of the game based on the film Where This Happened.
You killed innocent people. The means to an end. You started a mess. I caused the revolution. You betrayed the law.
And then finally, there was an unofficial remake of the Master System's Transbot for the PC. Nintendo finally listened to the people and gave the middle finger to the scalpers last month and re-released the NES Classic. Does anyone still want one though after this long wait? Anyone? Hello? As usual, the ZX Spectrum had a healthy crop of homebrew releases last month, with QuaHappy, O.P.Z, Nixy the Glade Spirit and Rubicon all being released onto the 8-bit home computer. Then there was a trio of Atari XL and XE titles released in May, with Train, a port of arcade title Time Pilot, and finally a physical release of HeliCommander. A copy of the latter will set you back $40. Talking of physical releases, Accorolado came out for the Amiga, but it's only available in floppy disk form. How retro. A copy will cost you €10 plus shipping. Then to round things off, Hyperzap 2018 blasted onto the Commodore 64, Monkey Mayhem Advance swung onto the Game Boy Advance, the Shadows of Sergoth cast a shadow over the Amstrad CPC, Minotaur clopped onto a range of Atari 8-bit computers, 2 Cyclops eyed up the Mega Drive, and finally Booty treaded onto the NES. No games long thought lost were discovered last month, unless I missed one of course. Let me know if I did in the comments below. 4 English language fan translations were released last month, all for different consoles. Space Hunter for the NES, Yukai Duchuki on the PC Engine, Nubo for the Game Boy, and finally Korokyu 64-2, Hatcher Mecha Grand Prix Race on the N64. I saved the best title for last, naturally. That's all for this month then, but thanks so much for watching. I'd also like to say I really appreciate everyone who liked last month's instalment. It was the first time 2 episodes got over 100 likes back to back. That may not seem like much, but it meant a lot to me, so please do like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you have a great month. I'll see you again very soon.
How did I get myself into this mess?